President Reagan learned about the space explosion while preparing for his State of the Union speech, which was scheduled for tonight. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Chris Wallace reports on the rest of the President's Day and the reaction as the news spread throughout Washington today.
The President was no different from any other American today, watching the tragic news on television. Late this afternoon, he addressed the nation about what he called a traumatic experience.
Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss.
Mr. Reagan talked directly to the school children who watched the launch, saying the future belongs not to the faint-hearted, but the brave. And he emphasized today's accident will not stop the space program.
We'll continue our quest in space. There will be more shuttle flights and more shuttle crews, and yes, more volunteers, more civilians, more teachers in space. Nothing ends here.
Vice President Bush and the acting head of NASA were sent to Cape Canaveral to talk to the families and launch an investigation. But officials said Mr. Reagan has full confidence in the space agency. The president was to make his State of the Union speech tonight and planned to go ahead even after the accident, saying, "You can't stop governing the nation." But congressional leaders told the White House there was no interest in politics tonight, so Mr. Reagan canceled.
Let us remember in silent prayer those who were involved in the spacecraft shuttle accident just a few minutes ago off Florida.
On Capitol Hill, the House met for a brief prayer and then adjourned. But members of Congress wanted to talk. Some had ridden the shuttle themselves, like Utah Senator Garn.
Well, it's very difficult for me to talk about it because these were my friends.
Congressman in charge of shuttle funding said the program will go on, but only after a full investigation.
There may be delays that could go on for as much as a year with regard to future shuttle launches.
The president was going to mention the shuttle tonight in his State of the Union speech as an example of American progress. Instead, he had to deliver a eulogy to the Challenger crew, calling them pioneers on the last frontier. Chris Wallace, NBC News, at the White House.
This terrible event has touched the hearts of Americans all across the country, of course, and we'll have a report on how this nation reacted when we return.